welcome back to Kiddie Korner. My name's Miss Mallory here at Memorial Baptist Church, and I'm so glad that you were able to join us today. Josiah, I'm going to need you to take 2 steps back, get a little bit further from the TV. Thank you so much, buddy. All right, so I'm so glad to see everyone here. Moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, whoever is in the room with the kiddos. I just want you to know, if you want this book for yourselves, click the link below and feel free to use the book at any time that you'd like. Also, you can find any of these videos at nbcmetairie.org/Bible stories. Feel free to use those and share them. Today for our craft, we're gonna make the Ark of the Covenant. So we're gonna need a gold colored pencil or marker or crayon, some tape, and then print out the PDF picture below. We'll have an attachment there for you to print out that picture. There's gonna be 2 pages, and you'll also need some scissors for your craft. So let's go ahead, boys and girls. Are you ready to get started? All right, so let's go ahead. We'll start with some prayer, okay? So fold your hands, bow your heads, close your eyes with a deep breath. Father, I just want to thank you for today, Lord, for bringing us together, that we're able to meet through the internet. Lord, that you've given us this ability to continue to learn more about you. Lord, I pray that you would be with us, that you would calm our hearts, that you would calm our minds, that we could focus on the stories that you have for us today. Lord, I pray just for our community, as everything has been just really tough. And so, Lord, I pray that you would be with us and that you would teach us something new as we are here together. In Jesus' name, amen. So boys and girls, I'm so glad that you're back, and I have a really big question for you. What did we talk about last week? Right, Ellie, we talked about the 10 Commandments. Raise your hand. Who remembers what are the 10 Commandments? There's 10 commandments. Does anybody remember them? Raise your hand if you want to come up here and tell me them. All right, I want Eliza and Ezra and Adeline, Matt, Owen, and Caleb. Come on up here real quick. We'll sit in a circle, and I want to hear the 10 Commandments, okay? Let's hear it. Ready? What's 1?
Keep up.
Number 2.
Cut eye.
Number 3.
Don't whack. Legolas.
Don't misuse God's name.
What's the rest? What was it? Don't steal. All right. Good job. You all remembered the 10 Commandments. Wow, that's hard to remember. So let's do the actions together one more time. All right, so we have God first, no idols, don't misuse God's name, worship and rest, honor your parents, no murder, no adultery, don't steal, don't lie, and don't covet. Good job. And who can tell me, who did God give those 10 commandments to? Andrew, do you remember who got the 10 commandments? Right, it was Moses. Moses received the 10 commandments. Good job, bud. So boys and girls, do you want to go ahead and start our new story? I wonder what happened when Moses got to the bottom of the mountain. Do you want to find out? Okay. So this week we are reading about the tabernacle. I wonder what that could be. So while Moses was meeting with God on top of Mount Sinai, God gave him instructions to build a special place called the tabernacle. The tabernacle would be a place where God would live among the Israelite people. When Moses came back down from the mountains, he said to the Israelites, God wants us to build him a place that he can dwell among us. What does dwell mean?
Right, it's kind of like being with them. We are going to take up an offering. We'll need gold and silver, bronze, and precious stones. We'll also need blue, purple, and red cloths. Finally, we'll need tanned leather, wood, olive oil, and spices. That's a lot of things they might need for this. Early the next morning, the people came and gave their offering so that the tabernacle could be built. Many of the things that they brought were given to them by the Egyptians when they had left Egypt. The Egyptians gave the Israelites gold and silver and all these precious things? When did that happen? Sophia, do you remember when the Egyptians gave the Israelites all of those things? Right, so they gave the Israelites all these precious things as the Israelites were leaving Egypt when they became free. God told Moses to put Bezalel and Oholiab in charge of all the work. Both of them were skilled craftsmen who were filled with the Spirit of God. The Lord gave them the ability to make everything they needed for the tabernacle. God also used them to teach the other workers how to make the supplies. Every morning the people kept bringing their gifts. Finally, Moses told them to stop because they had brought more than enough materials to complete all the work. Outside walls of the tabernacle were giant curtains made of fine linen. The entrance was always facing the east. Inside the walls of the tabernacle, toward the back, was a tent that had 2 rooms in it. I wonder what's in those 2 rooms. The back room of the tent was called the most holy place. No one was allowed in it except for the high priest, and he was only allowed in it once a year. In addition, the most holy place contained the Ark of the Covenant. The ark was made of wood and covered with gold. It had 2 angels on top whose wings spread out over it. The ark was where the presence of God dwelt. One year, the priest would sprinkle blood of a sacrifice on the ark for the sins of all the people. No one was supposed to touch the Ark of the Covenant. If the people needed to take down the tabernacle and go to another place, the priest would carry the ark by only touching the poles. They didn't even touch the ark itself. The front room of the tent was called the holy place. In it was a table made from wood that was covered in gold. Each week the priest would set out 12 loaves of bread on the table. The 12 loaves of bread represented the 12 tribes of Israel. A lampstand called the menorah was also kept in the holy place. It had 7 branches with 7 flames, and it was used to provide light inside the tent. The third piece of furniture in the holy place was the golden altar. The priests would use it every day to burn incense in the mornings and in the evenings. The incense was burned as a pleasing smell for God to enjoy. In the courtyard of the tabernacle, just outside the tent, was a large wash basin made of bronze. It was used for the priests to wash their hands and their feet before serving God. A big square altar made of bronze was also kept in the courtyard. The altar was used when the people brought their animal sacrifices to the priests. The animals that they had brought to be perfect. They could not be blind or deaf or have any other problem. The animals would be sacrificed and their blood would be sprinkled on the altar. Next, the animals would be burned on the altar. This was how God forgave the people for their sins. The priests were to wear all white. However, a blue tunic was made for Aaron, who was the high priest. Over his tunic was an apron called an ephod. The ephod had a breastplate containing 12 precious stones. Each stone was engraved with one of the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. When everything was finished, all the priests put on their robes, and the glory of God filled the tabernacle. The cloud of God was over the tabernacle during the day, and the fire of God was over the tabernacle during the night. Whenever the cloud moved from its place,
the Israelites would take the tabernacle apart and follow the cloud. This way, God's presence was always with them wherever they traveled. Wow. So the cloud, does anybody remember what the cloud, how they knew that they should follow the cloud? Right, August. So they were following the cloud because that was their way of following the Lord, right? They were following the flame at the nighttime and the cloud during the day. Good job, boys and girls. So let's go ahead. We'll close with some prayer, and then we'll go ahead and try our craft out for today. What do you say? All right, so fold your hands, bow your heads, close your eyes, deep breath. Jesus, I thank you. I thank you for bringing us here today. Lord, thank you that we can learn more about what you did years and years and years ago. Lord, how we know how you've provided and you've taken care of your people even since you began the world. Father, I thank you so much for bringing us here today. Thank you that you've brought us here via the internet, that we can join together to learn more about what you've done years and years ago with Moses and the Israelites. Lord, I pray that you would continue to protect us, that you would continue to provide for our needs. Lord, how the Israelites were able to build what you've asked them to because of what they were given prior to that moment. Lord, I thank you that you provide for everything that we need, and I thank you that you've kept us safe in these times. We love you, Lord. Amen. All right, so boys and girls, you're going to need to print off the PDF picture of the Ark of the Covenant, okay, because that's what we're going to make today. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to color your Ark of the Covenant gold. Why would we color it gold, Keegan? Yes, we're coloring it gold because the Ark of the Covenant was covered in gold. Good. So after you've colored it gold, I want you to cut out your pictures. So I've already cut some out here, and so I have all of my pieces. You should have 2 of the angels, 2 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should have 6 different pieces. So you're going to cut these out, and then you're going to fold on all of the straight lines. So I'm going to fold it in, make sure it's straight. I'm going to fold on all of those lines. See that? Even those little ones over here. Make sure we get some good folds on there. All right. And then we're going to get our angels, and we're going to fold down this little piece. That's how we're going to tape it down. So fold that on both of them like this. And then you can kind of fold them so they line up together. Just like that. So on this one, you are also going to cut on these dotted lines right here. See all those dotted lines? So just a little tiny cut, and you're going to fold them in like this. All right, so now we're ready to put our ark together. So we're going to need some tape or some glue, whatever you have at home. And we're going to start with this little piece on top, okay? So you're going to fold the little tiny piece underneath to make it kind of square like that. And then you'll need a little piece of tape on the inside. So we're going to do that to all 4 pieces. Piece, and then we're going to go to our larger piece, and it's going to be very similar. You see this little white piece that I have left? I'm going to fold it in so I have it on the edge there, and then we're going to tape it in the middle.
You might need a little bit of help with this. It's a little bit tricky. We're gonna do that for all 4 pieces. All right. Here we go. And then we're going to tape this piece on top, like so. This one might be helpful if you had stick glue. You could glue it on there pretty quick. Just like that. And then we'll put the angels on there as they were touching. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little bit of tape on the inside, like this. And then it'll make it a little bit easier to tape down here, just like that. Do the same on this one. All right. And we're gonna make those wings touch. Just like this. And there you go. Almost forgot the poles that they held onto whenever they moved it. We gotta put those on the side. We're gonna use 2 pieces of tape for this one. Right there. And right there. Also do it on the other side. All right, and then this was how the priest would carry it. There'd be 4 of them though. So there's your ark. All right, boys and girls, it was so great to see you again, and I'm so glad that you keep coming back. I hope that you tell all of your friends about this, and if you're at summer camp this week, boys and girls, I encourage you to share these stories with your friends, okay? So I'll see you next week, and I hope you have a great time and you spend lots of time playing outside, okay? Bye!